Lucy Cotter, our arts and entertainment correspondent, mentioned that there was a history of drinking, but is there any suggestion that he was at all depressed? He suffered from bouts of depression in the circles that he operated in?
Just a few weeks ago, he checked himself into rehab. It said he'd done back-to-back projects and that he was, in a sense, going for kind of a tune-up. But obviously he was extremely depressed. He's had a long history, not just with alcohol, but with substances. He used cocaine. And in 1982, he tried to kind of do a cold turkey quitting when John Belushi died because, you know, that was a shocking lesson for him that a friend of his died. Don't forget, he was a young comedian when he was using drugs. And those people think that they'll live forever. I know that we throw the word around greatly talented and genius a lot, but I couldn't even count how many times I'd met and been with and interviewed Robin Williams, and he is a true genius, no two ways about it. You just say a word to him, and he can entertain. He's so beloved, and obviously the person that couldn't love him is himself.
In Genie, he was an extremely versatile actor, wasn't he? I mean, he did roles like the genie in Aladdin, but at the same time, he won an Oscar for his role in Good Will Hunting, which was a very serious part that he played. He had a special touch, didn't he?
Well, it was always very important to him that he not only be known as a manic comedian and a crazy comedian. And when he got respect in Good Morning Vietnam and Good Will Hunting, that was very meaningful to him. But, you know, there are a lot of people who say comedy is harder. But Robin Williams' face told a story, no matter what he did. He was the most open soul. You walked in a room with him and you felt embraced, and you felt entertained, and you felt loved. He was a fascinating guy. I don't know anybody who could think as fast as he could and be entertaining. He just had a TV series that was okay. It did very well, but it was canceled. And I'm sure that was a disappointment to him. I went on the set as near the end of the season, and he was very sweet and very glad that he was working with a lot of young people. They called the series The Crazy Ones, and he said, I never wanted it to be the Robin Williams show. I wanted to be part of an ensemble. But nevertheless, the series was not a huge hit. Robin won't be judged by one show or one movie. He has a body of work and a life of sharing and giving that are unmatched, really.
In Genie, we just had a tweet from the actor Henry Winkler who says Robin Williams was like no other. To watch him create on the spot was a privilege to behold. Robin, you are an angel now. Rest in. Just one of the hundreds, if not thousands, of tributes that are going to be pouring in over the next 24, 48 hours, Jeannie.
Well, they will be, especially since it hasn't been confirmed, but it's widely thought that it was some sort of suicide. Look, depression, substance abuse, it can hit anybody. But Robin Williams had almost a lifelong struggle with that, and I think there were times when Robin thought that if he gave up cocaine or if he gave up drugs or gave up alcohol, that he wouldn't be as funny. But it wasn't true. When he was perfectly sober, he was funnier and wilder and quicker on his feet and more sensitive than almost any actor you could mention. Anybody who worked with him, like Henry Winkler, but as you say, you will hear hundreds of tributes because this is a man who you can't find anybody that will say he has a mean bone in his body or that he wasn't one of the most talented human beings on earth. You won't find anybody who doesn't confirm that. You will find people who've seen him in a condition where he was clearly on drugs, and you will find people who realize how tough life was on him. He made life easier for other people, but it was very tough on himself.
And Jeannie, one final point. I mean, this is going to send shockwaves through the world of Hollywood, isn't it?
You could practically. I just found out, and I could not control myself screaming. And I mean, I have known him for a long time. I have interviewed him many times. I have a long relationship with him. But anybody who interviewed him once or twice or worked on a movie with him once or twice will feel that connection. He was an open soul. It's hard almost to find the words, because you know how you come up with superlatives when someone dies, and especially dies suddenly. But Robin Williams deserved the superlatives. He was an extraordinary entertainer and an extraordinary human being who had, lots of weaknesses that he regularly admitted to.
Jeannie, thank you very much for your time. That is Jeannie Wolf on the line. Well, joining us on the phone now is Jamie Graham, editor-at-large with Total Film magazine. Shocking news now. Can I just get your reaction to this news that the actor Robin Williams has died?
My reaction is the same as everyone else at the moment. It's just one of complete, utter shock. If you're on Twitter at the moment, I mean, everyone's feeds is just full of people pouring an outpouring of grief and shock, and also, everyone just saying what a wonderful person he was, how much joy he brought to so many people, and just how sadly he's going to be missed.
And what type of legacy do you think he'll have left behind now?
Well, I think he'll always be remembered as one of the great comic actors. I mean, he was an absolute comic genius, as we all know. Was just incredible, fast-talking, motor mouth, just inventive, incredible brain. Just, when he's cast as something like the genie in Aladdin, for example, it just pours out of him, just that improv. I mean, it's just an absolute God-given talent. But I think he'll also be remembered as a great dramatic actor as well. I think that's the side of him that was maybe underrated while he was alive. He did obviously do several dramatic roles. He won his Oscar for Good Will Hunting, Best Supporting Actor, which was a terrific dramatic role. And again, one that just had so much truth and so much emotion to it that I think anyone watching that film, that performance came from a very real, very deep place.
And I guess, I spoke to Jeannie Wolf a little bit earlier on, and she was explaining what shockwaves this news is going to send through Hollywood. But it's not just Hollywood, is it? It's going to be right across the world, right across the UK as people hear of the news that this actor has died.
Well, exactly. I mean, he's one of those actors who touches everyone. I mean, he's such a well-known person. He's been a star for many years, a great actor for many years. He's one of those names that every single person in the world knows. He's just a household name.